Lisa said that you said, Dorit is a stupid, useless idiot. Crystal and Sutton are pieces of shit. I will destroy Kyle and her family if it's the last thing I ever do.
The bombshell Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion trailer is here, and we are breaking down some of the most shocking moments from the teaser. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Blake McHugh, and welcome back to another shared news update. Before we dive in, you know the drill. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of our future videos. Zachary Reality is here with me to break it all down. Zach, you said you watched this trailer 17 times. I mean, what? Give me, it's gonna be hard. 3 words to describe it before we dive in.
Oh my God. I think we have to go with like family, messy, and betrayal.
Okay.
Those are the 3 words. And let me say, I watched this everywhere because all the housewives posted it, and then all the fan accounts posted it. And then I like to go on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok every single day, all times a day. So it really was in my face and on my timeline constantly. So I chose to watch it multiple times, and I could not get over Kathy reading Lisa Rinna. So I cannot wait to get into it and hear your thoughts.
Ooh, I know there was so much. I think messy and betrayal are great words to use to describe it. Oh my God, there is just so much going on. So let's get into it, because right off the bat, I mean, I was just speechless.
I'm really happy. I don't want to sit here for a toast. Can I leave?
Doug, what do you want to do here? Kyle's a wreck.
Oof. You're so angry.
This just made me so sad, because we obviously know that they are kind of showing us a little bit of what happened at the end, that this is the traditional toast that they always do at the end of taping for reunions. And this just makes me think things did not get settled with Kathy.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too. It's that she is crying and ready to go, and this is the end. You know, this reunion, you're supposed to solve everything, right? But I think it's so sad because I don't think her and Kathy have to have an issue. Like, even when Lisa Rinna came to, you know, Kyle's house, it really seemed like the big issue was between Lisa and Kathy, and that Kyle wanted to move on. Kathy apologized. They've been through way worse things than this. So I'm just a little bit confused why Kyle can't move on with Kathy. You know, I understand if she's mad at Rinna, but I feel like her and Kathy should have been able to get into a better place at this reunion.
I think that because Kyle has continued to be friends with Lisa afterwards. So I think that Kathy is like, that's not okay.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
And maybe that's where their relationship is like.
That's the only logical explanation, Blakely. Like, you hit the nail on the coffin. I don't think there could be any other logical explanation, but it also just seems like Kathy would want to move on with Kyle. But I guess she really, you know, hates Lisa Rinna, the biggest bully in Hollywood.
We are going to get to that comment, but let's move on next, because Kathy is calling out Rinna. It's our first look at it.
Period.
I don't need any drama.
With everybody. What you did to my sister, and you drove Lisa Vanderpump off the show. I mean, the list can go on and on.
Kathy did not come to play. She's obviously, for people who maybe needed a reminder, she's obviously talking about Kim Richards. I mean, we saw Lisa go after Kim season after season, saying she's close to death, talking about her alcohol abuse, talking about when she broke her glass, you know, never talk about my husband's situation. And then I'm a little confused about the Lisa Vanderpump of it all. I don't know if that's making sense to you, or you could remind.
I mean, I think it's also a little bit of a trigger word for a lot of the cast, because a couple of years ago, they all turned on Lisa Vanderpump, and then she stopped filming midway through the season. So I think Kathy bringing it up was probably just to like trigger Lisa, but it's true.
Sure.
Like, Rinna has pushed a lot of people off the show. I mean, what she did to Kim Richards, Yolanda, Denise, Kathy Hilton, Garcelle. Lisa Rinna is the villain of this show. She always has been, and she always will be. But I think the one thing that's really interesting here is that this is a trailer. I have no doubt in my mind that Lisa Rinna clapped back at Kathy and put her in her place as well.
Oh, for sure.
I think that they want it to seem like it's one-sided because, you know, throughout the season, it was kind of one-sided. We really haven't gotten
much.
Yeah, we only heard Lisa Rinna's narrative because Kathy is a friend of, so she doesn't do confessionals. So I think that Bravo really wanted to even the playing fields here and make it seem like Kathy is drilling in on her, which she is, but I think Lisa Rinna, knowing her, she's gonna give it right back to her.
Or are they evening the playing field? Or is like Kathy's people in Bravo's ear like, you better even this out, you know? Like, I wonder if there's the forces that be from Kathy Hilton. Yeah, a little bit of everything. Obviously, we know Lisa is not going to be holding back. Also, my other thing I wanted to point out too is this is such a stark contrast to what we saw when we saw Lisa and Kathy sit down, because Kathy was kind of just really eating it and she was apologizing and she was soft, and Kathy is like, that girl is dead and gone. I've come to put you in your place now, Lisa.
Yeah. I think, that's what's confusing. I mean, obviously, I think Kathy watching the show, she probably got re-upset seeing what Lisa Rinna said about her in confessional. So I think that's kind of what brings things up. Because you know what they do with these reunions, Blakely, is they show the last few episodes to the cast, like the day before, 2 days before, to kind of get them amped up, especially because the public hasn't, seen all the episodes. So they give it to them early. So, this is new emotion for Kathy, and she came in for war. And I also think it's going to be her last season.
I guess we'll see. This next clip is a short clip, but Andy is calling out Lisa for her social media.
Social media is disastrous.
Put me on pause.
I mean, I know it's short, but I did feel like it was kind of a big deal because her social media has been wild. I mean, she unfollowed people. She erased the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or whatever she had in her bio. She took that out. I mean, she's been all over the place on social media. And also, a lot of people have been questioning on whether or not she's coming back for the next season. Now we have Lisa saying, put me on pause. What do you think is going to happen?
I think she'll be back. I think they say this every single year. They said last year Kyle wasn't returning, Teresa wasn't returning. Housewives rumors, you gotta take with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? And I also don't think Bravo has maybe made that final decision. But her Instagram has been crazy because Lisa Rinna has really gone for the jugular on Kathy on Instagram, posting text messages, posting receipts. That is just not necessary. But I understand why the fans enjoy it. Like, if I'm watching this show as a fan, not thinking about them as real people, Lisa Rinna is my favorite character. She's so extra. She's so dramatic. She keeps it real. She says it how it is. She brings the show together and onto a new level. But personally, if I was on the cast or I knew all these people in real life, like, I would stay as far away from her as possible.
See, I don't look at it as it just like a show and their characters. Like, I just feel like I feel like that's sort of, you know what she kind of reminds me of? She kind of reminds me of Christine Quinn on Selling Sunset. You know how Christine did the whole interview with Alex Cooper saying she looks at herself as this character. She's playing into it. She knows we're all playing into it. That Lisa Rinna kind of gives me those vibes where everybody else, while they're playing into it a little bit, they're living their lives. Lisa is sort of playing this character, but I feel like the character should end to a degree when filming ends, and there's just no point. Realistically, what Kathy did in the grand scheme of things, like, it's really not the biggest thing going on in the world. Like, we don't need to be outing people and sending receipts and texts and all these things. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's messy, and that's why I'm so excited about this reunion. I mean, Blakely, this season was really long. It played out for maybe 4 months on Bravo. Like, I totally missed maybe 2 or 3 episodes and scanned through a couple. But I knew when it came to the Aspen trip and the end of this season, I was fully going to be in it because this is juicy.
Well, when I was talking with Morgan the other day, I was like, I kind of feel like we need more episodes. Like, it almost feels like we cut off and ended in the middle of something, and on top of that, when they did the flashbacks at the very end, I'm like, I forgot that Dorit even had a robbery. I'm like, that felt like years ago from when it aired.
Well, but now we're getting these episodes. Like, the reunion's always the best because it's most updated in real time, and we always complain about how reality TV, it kind of, airs months after, and we follow these people on social media. So the reunion was shot, like a month ago? Like, this is going to give us everything we want. So I'm so excited. Let's keep watching.
Let's keep watching because now Erika's in the hot seat.
Is Erika her own worst enemy?
You're out of control. No, I was not out of control. I was angry. He's 14.
Did you think she was behind it?
I did think she was behind it, absolutely.
Okay, so let's break this down into 2 parts because we obviously have Kyle and Erika kind of going at it, if you will. I don't know. I mean, I thought she was out of control. I don't think being angry dismisses being out of control.
Yeah, I feel like Erika has always struggled with taking accountability. I also think that's just kind of her nature. And, you know, one thing I've learned is like, we really just need to kind of accept people for who they are, and we all handle emotions differently. So Erika handles things very aggressively, and she reacts and she screams and she yells, while someone like Kyle, you know, starts crying and, you know, gets all sensitive. And I think that it's hard to kind of tell people how their emotions are supposed to be dealt with. You know, you can't say my emotions are right or wrong. You know, everyone gets upset sometimes and we all react differently. So I do think Erika is aggressive, but I think that's just who she is. And if her friends just kind of need to understand that too.
I actually think that's a great point too, because like in Kyle's mind, it's out of control, but I bet Erika's like, if you want to see out of control, I'll show you out of control. Like, you know, like you haven't even seen that yet. And I gotta be honest, I was shocked to hear that. And I guess we actually don't know if Garcelle is referring to Erika or referring to Diana, because I think Diana as well, because right after then they showed Diana's face, just kind of the juxtaposition of Erika to Garcelle to the Diana after that what she says. But I was kind of shocked to hear Garcelle actually thought that a cast member was behind all of the cruel comments to her son.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked too that Garcelle maybe thought that Erika or Diana was behind, you know, those bot messages that went to Garcelle's teenage son, which were so bad. You know, Bravo even had to step involved for bullying. And poor Jax, you know, he was going to high school. That's so sad.
I know.
Hopefully that's a little bit out of context, because I just truly don't think that anyone on the cast would do that. So, you know, I mean, also just like justice for Garcelle. Like, she just keeps getting put through it every season. She could be a little messy at times, like all of us, but she truly always takes the high road. She's a great judge of character. She has a great head on her shoulders. She's mature, fabulous, entertaining. I really feel like Garcelle was, you know, one of the MVPs of the season.
She was really like a mainstay and like a big backbone. I kind of felt like of the season, like she kept it real without being, because we know she's really not that close with a lot of these. Well, I take that back. I guess Sutton and Crystal and her started off pretty strong in the beginning, and I think that they still are. But I feel like she's always come into her own and defended herself and believed in herself. But for some reason, there was something different about her aura to me this season. I felt like she stuck up for every single person who needed to be stuck up for, whether it was Kyle, whether it was Sutton, whether it was Crystal. She tried to reason with Diana at one point, like, you know, and I felt like whenever Garcelle's in the scenes, we always have these really meaningful conversations, and she's always saying it how it is. And I just agree. I feel like with almost everything that she says, I loved
Garcelle.
her this season.
We love Garcelle. We love her friendship with Sutton, and all the fans do. I mean, that's kind of everyone's favorite friendship right now. I think sometimes we like what's new as well. You know, Kyle's been on the show for 12 years, and I don't like that people hate on Kyle. I think a lot of people only hate on Kyle because that's just what happens when you're on a show for so long. But I always have loved Kyle.
I have always loved Kyle. I think at her core, she's a good person. She means well. She's kind. She was I think that she needed to be a little bit of a stronger voice this season. I think she should have stuck up for her friend Sutton when Diana was, you know, when they were kind of ganging up on her and Erika. I think that she stirred the pot a lot with Sutton and Lisa. So I kind of felt like she wasn't the greatest friend to Sutton this season, which I didn't like, but I know, you know, we obviously don't see everything. So on the topic of Sutton, we start to bring in the Lisa situation, and we get an iconic Dorit moment.
Seemed like she was a little bit of your punching bag.
I was a dead horse. I turned into glue.
I didn't really understand the analogy of the glue.
They make glue out of horses.
Glue?
Do you understand the analogy, Zach?
And I don't understand any analogies on Real Housewives, whether it's Jersey, Beverly Hills. Analogies should just not be used. But Sutton is so funny. Sometimes I think she plays a little dumb. You know, she's like, well, I don't know. I'm just a girl who wears bomba. Like, she just kind of plays up the part a little bit. But I do kind of think it's cool how she, like, doesn't take herself too seriously, but she also, like, takes herself really seriously at the same time.
She also came into her own, I felt like, this season. I liked her there was something about her this season. I think that I've never related to Dorit more than in that horse glue comment. And I mean, like, leave it to Dorit to bring a little like levity and comedy into like a serious conversation. I want to see Sutton stand up for herself though when it comes to Lisa, because I think they have a mediator of Andy for Andy to like keep it real. Like, Lisa, you kind of were like on top of Sutton this entire season.
And I love Andy, and I think he does such a good job moderating all of the crazy, crazy housewives.
Agreed. So now let's get back to Lisa, because I don't know if you caught this, but she's bringing the receipts.
Thing I ever do.
I was abused by Kathy Hilton.
Baby, you wanted it on camera because your contract was coming up.
Woo! Okay, so did you see in the beginning when she's saying she's abused by Kathy? She's got that manila envelope. She's got the paper. She came prepared. I feel like if you're going against Kathy Hilton, you need to have all your ducks in a row.
Listen, she has made a lot of accusations about a situation that was not filmed and on camera. She better come to the reunion and back it up, period.
And thoughts on Kathy's contract theory?
I don't know. I think that there's probably some truth to it. You know, there's been some tabloids, as we mentioned the past couple months, about Lisa Rinna potentially getting fired, which I kind of told you that I think that's BS, and she's such a part of the show, and these are rumors. But I think Kathy is just going for the jugular because Lisa went for the jugular. You know, Kathy wouldn't be this angry for no reason. Lisa came for her and made things very difficult for her, and Kathy is not putting up with it.
I feel like Kathy has really stayed out of the headlines all these years. I mean, we know of the Hiltons, but we just, I don't, you know, Kathy has never made headlines until right now. So she's not messing around. Let's get to the final piece of this trailer.
Were you upset with Lisa for bringing it onto the show?
Look where we are. Look where we are right now.
You are the biggest bully in Hollywood, and everyone knows.
And everyone knows it. I mean, again, like I started this off saying I feel so sad for Kyle, and I'm still feeling sad for her. I'm glad Andy is sort of, I mean, who knows? He's only asking a question here. But we're going to get to the conversation of if Lisa is being a bad friend to Kyle.
Yeah, and I think that's what the biggest part of this reunion is trying to figure out the beef between Kathy and Lisa Rinna, and then where Kyle fits into it, because she is in the middle being best friends with Lisa and sisters with Kathy. And then Erika is obviously best friends with Rinna and close with Kyle. So those are kind of our key players. I think the Garcelle stuff will be interesting. I think Sutton will bring good energy. I've really found Crystal to be extremely relevant this season. I think she's a great person. I think she's fabulous. I love her lifestyle, but she's just, if anyone needs to be fired, it's Crystal. She's just not giving, she just gives absolutely nothing.
Yeah. What do we think of the seating on the couches? Because it looks like it's Lisa, Erika, Dorit, and I'm not sure
Crystal.
who's on the end. And then it looks like, and then Crystal. And then we've got Kyle, obviously Kathy's coming in. And then I feel like Garcelle and Sutton are on the same couch as Kyle, unless Dorit just moved over for Kathy, but I don't know. I feel weird that the couches are seeming a little interesting to me.
I mean, I think Dorit is a middleman. She played that role all season. She didn't get involved in any drama.
Yeah.
Dorit gets along with everyone. So she could have been on either side of the couch. I think that, you know, they want to split things up 4 and 4, and they need Kathy next to Kyle. And of course, Garcelle and Sutton have to be on separate sides than Erika and Lisa. And then Kyle obviously was going up against Lisa. And then Crystal, as I mentioned, is irrelevant. So you could just put her on the end anywhere. Honestly, they should have had Crystal. Exactly. They should have had Crystal come in on Zoom instead of, we needed Diana there. And if Diana was there, Diana probably would have been next to Dorit. And then maybe Crystal would have been next to Sutton.
Would have been definitely 100%. I don't know. I feel like Kyle and Dorit are like family. I mean, they did so many their holidays together. So I felt like it was weird that Dorit wasn't sitting next to Kyle, at least for a little bit of like good friendship support.
Yeah, but I think it was just the numbers of the couch. I think that Kyle and Dorit's friendship is one of the most solid ones on the show. The show's kind of in twos. It's like Erika and Rinna, Garcelle and Sutton, Kyle and Dorit.
Yes. And then Crystal.
Kathy and Crystal, right? Weren't they kind of brought in together?
They actually are. Actually, yes. Okay, we got to talk about the outfits. Which one was your favorite, Zach?
So I really liked all of them, but I think my favorite is going to be Sutton. I think the pink And the jewels and those crystals were just some of her best work. I think she looks so fabulous and classy, and I love that color on her. So I'm gonna go with Sutton, but I really, truly like all of them so much.
I was going with Dorit. I feel like that's an unpopular choice, but there's something that's calling me to Dorit's out. It's just so chic, you know?
Well, we know everything is chic with Dorit. Everything. Remember that scene in the middle of the season where they had the charity event?
That's exactly why I said it.
Jamie Curtis, was it Jamie Curtis was there?
Jamie Lee Curtis, and it was a chic license plate and a chic wind chime and a chic umbrella
dollar
and
bill.
whatever else was pulled out.
Everything is chic.
The dollar,
Blakely,
yes.
you are so chic.
Everything. Wow, Zach, you are so chic as well.
Stop. We're all chic.
Well, that is going to do it for us here on Shared News, wrapping up our Real Housewives of Beverly Hills trailer. I know the countdown is on for me. Next Wednesday, part 1 will be airing. There are 3 parts for the reunion. It's going to be a doozy, you guys, so buckle up and get ready. I'm your host, Blakely McHugh, joined with Zachary Reality. You can see our social media handles on the screen. Drop by, give us a follow, and say hello.